To the students, I'm writing this letter to explain what action I hope the Board of Ed will take tonight with regard to deleveling in IB. I'm speaking to you to remind all of us of what's really most important. You are the students. You'll experience these changes firsthand. Maybe you'll meet different students in your classes. Probably you'll have different activities that will be evaluated differently. And hopefully you'll be talking about issues that affect this community and the world beyond. This is an exciting change, and we're confident that it will make your schools better. Rest assured that we'll be watching with hope and anticipation for how these changes play out. The board is taking this action because we are sworn to provide a thorough and efficient education to each and every one of you, all 6,600, regardless of race, creed, class, gender, sexual orientation, or other identity. Dr. Osborne and his team developed these proposals because it is their genuine professional judgment that you will all be given a better education as a result. I fully endorse this decision. In fact, I'm humbled by it. I admire their courage in making this change that is bound to be unpopular with some, but is the right thing to do. You know that having an adult have confidence in you, believing in what you can do before you believe it, is crucial to your success. Like when you learn to ride a bike or swim or so many other activities that you were sure you would never do until you did. One of the moments of absolute joy of a parent or a teacher are those moments when your development we catch or we glimpse at. Tonight the board will say that we have confidence in you, we know you can do it, and we will support you in doing it. All of you, not only those of you who learn to swim quickly or those that need extra help, but even those who are afraid of the water. What this proposal tonight says, in my opinion, is jump in, the water is fine, and we'll be there to keep you safe and help you to learn to be the best person that you can be. We will do this because that's what adults are supposed to do in any community, to support the growth of all of you, to affirm that everyone can learn, to believe that all people matter in a democracy, and that any community, like a chain, is only as strong as its weakest link. You are all our children, and what happens to each and every one of you is important and why we spend hours making plans. We don't make perfect plans, but we make the best plans that we can make. And we won't always get it right the first time, but it will take your hard work and ours and thoughtful feedback to help us get better. But know that your successes, those achieved and those just imagined or wished for, will make us proud. You've probably heard your parents say why they chose to come to our towns. If your family is like mine, you chose to live here because of the community's commitment to living the American creed in this little parcel of land, that all are created equally endowed with inalienable rights. They moved here because Dr. King's dream was not simply a great speech, but a call to being a better society, to living with justice, comity, and opportunity for all. They came here because they wanted to raise you in a community that shared these values, that recognized that despite America's great promise, we are not yet. We live in a society that has horrendous poverty adjacent to incredible wealth, with schools that too often reflect these local economies. You live in towns that, while not quite so extreme, mirror this dynamic. Some might say this makes public education in a place like this impossible, that the chasm is too wide between haves and have-nots, between those who benefited from education and all that it affords and those who did not fully reap its rewards, children who were left behind. Now adults offered only a vague promise to wait for a superhero. Well, the superintendent's not wearing a red cape, and I'm suspicious of heroic narratives. But we are affirming a pledge to you that no longer will good enough be acceptable, that achievement and growth of each of you matters, and that we will not be satisfied with anything short of equal opportunity for all of you. We affirm tonight that you, like our country, are not yet. And it is this wonderful plasticity that gives us hope, the possibility of who you are becoming rather than who we have decided you are. And tonight I am joyful in the opportunity to support this effort, knowing that what greatness of people can achieve is always done working together, believing in one another to shape our common lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goodell. Ms. Crawford?
Very nice, Dr. Guardella. Tough act to follow. I'm supporting the proposal because I've believed, as long as I've been on the board, that we're not doing justice to all of our students. I have several concerns, and I had a very interesting conversation with a student this evening prior to coming to the meeting that kind of opened my eyes. So a very verbal student who pointed out to me that while they have worked hard to be in level 3 and 4 classes, This particular student feels that there are many students in the classes who don't care about their education and who are wasting the other students' times. So my concerns are for students who we are now offering what we hope to be a better education, that they will take advantage of this, that they will live up to the expectations we have of them, and that they will try harder and do better. I am hoping that these students will be more challenged, that some of the behaviors that we may have seen may be a result of not being challenged, of being bored, and of not having any expectations put on them. So I hope that these students will be able to get the full benefit of what we're offering. I hope that the parents who work so very hard will be able to support their students and encourage them to do better and to try harder. We have many parents in this district who work sometimes 2 and 3 jobs just to be able to support their children in town. And I know how difficult it is for some of our parents to just keep up with some of the things that are expected. I've been an educator my entire life, and trust me, there's days when I can't even begin to tell you what my children have had for homework. So people who come from different national backgrounds, different language backgrounds, are going to have difficult times also. But I encourage the parents to try and work with us so that their students will be able to benefit from all that we're trying to provide. I also am looking for the teachers who have been working for years, and this may be one of the first times you've really been challenged because something new is being added. It's difficult. It's a lot that's being asked of you. You will have different students in your class. You will have different things that you're being asked to teach. Try and look at it as a positive challenge. Sometimes when somebody forces something on you, whether you want to do it or not, you may find that it could be a little bit more interesting than what you've been doing all along. I think that we have a wealth of knowledge and ability in our teachers. I think that some of them may not have been challenged in a while, and this may be an opportunity to re-envision yourself and to just benefit from all those pieces of your education and your experience that you haven't had an opportunity to put into play for a while. I think that we have what doesn't constitute a perfect storm, but a perfect opportunity. We have teachers who have abilities, we have students who have abilities, and we have an administrative staff who is willing to back you and to provide whatever's necessary for you to make this happen. I am encouraged by everything that I've seen from the administration. I am moved deeply by the comments, the letters, the remarks made by parents. I understand your fear. I share your fear. I appreciate the things that you've said because you've opened my eyes, as I said at the last meeting, to things that I haven't necessarily considered. But I do believe that this is the only way to go. I believe that we have potential in this district and we haven't tapped into it. I believe that we have a large number of students who have not been called upon to be all they can be. Excuse me for the cliche. But I do believe that we have students that we owe an opportunity to provide them with the best possible education so that they can achieve their potential, so that they can see what it is to be like all the students in level 4 or level 3. I think everybody needs that opportunity, and I think that the program and the proposals that have been put in place, while maybe not perfect and are going to take an awful lot of restructuring and watching and support, I think that they are the best possible options that we have that will service the best number or the largest number of students that we have. And I fully support this. I also intend, for as long as I'm on the board, to make sure that I keep a careful eye to watch to make sure that things are progressing the way that they should be. I am incredibly pleased by the 2 middle school principals, by the fortitude and courage that you've shown in moving forward with these. I think fortunately you're young enough to be able to pull this off. You've got the ability and you've got the knowledge and you've definitely got the support. To the superintendent, again, age is on your favor. I think that this is a very brave move on your part, and I am very pleased that you are here with us. We will not let you go, so don't make any plans until this is at least seen through. To the parents, it's going to be a bumpy ride, but I think that you'll be able to do it. In the end, your students, I think, will have a much better and more equal education than we've provided in the past.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Ms. Green?
As many of you know, I have lived in this community for almost 25 years between the 2 towns. And for as long as I've lived here, we have wrestled with this issue of whether to have levels or no levels. And for those of you who have known me for a long time, you know that I've wrestled with this issue personally, not always sure what the right answer is. But after 20-something years, I think I know the right answer. And as I've said before, I support the proposals before us. I believe we have been quite deliberate and transparent as we have explored the options before us. And I believe it's the right time to move forward. I believe that with the implementation of the IB program, with the improved curriculum that we plan to put forth, making it more rigorous for all our students, providing intervention for struggling students, providing professional development to make sure our teachers can effectively differentiate instruction and meet the needs of all our students. I believe this is the right time to do this. Frankly, mixed ability classrooms are the norm for middle schools. Our district is actually one of the exceptions. Most of our surrounding neighbors don't have the levels that we have in our towns. And I think it's time for us to make sure that we are actually carrying out our mission of educating well all of our students. And so I have made the decision to support these programs. Would I have done this a couple of years ago? Probably not. But I believe that we've learned. I believe we have, as Ms. Crawford pointed out, a very strong superintendent and 2 very capable middle school principals. And I've spoken to lots of parents. I know lots of teachers. I've spoken to children. And the majority of them believe this is the right thing to do for our district. And so I think it's time for us to simply do it.